Welcome back. I'm still here with James Wallington, cast member of the Challenge USA and former winner of the Amazing Race. Okay, James, so let's get back into it. So something that really stood out to me is that we really saw you kind of turn into this mastermind strategy kind of, I don't know, connoisseur in these first few weeks of the competition. So would you say that like being strategic is something that comes natural to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting that with how strategic Will and I were on Amazing Race, it was either super praised by fans or totally disliked by fans.
Mm-hmm.
Where being in this type of environment, in this type of setting, being strategic is actually praised all around.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a very different experience in terms of like the viewer response from Amazing Race. But at the same time, like, I don't know if it just comes naturally to me or what, but I think because I have studied competition shows for more than half my life, I'm able to pull from what I've seen and apply what I think works best for my game to succeed. So maybe it does come naturally in some aspects, but I think what comes naturally, maybe not so much the strategy, but socially, that comes very naturally for me because I've always been one to be like a social glue in any sort of social environment or situation. I'm known to keep friend groups together. So I think socially that comes more naturally than maybe the strategy.
Yeah. So that was something you definitely got to use towards your advantage.
Exactly.
Okay, so now speaking of strategy, something that we're seeing on this season of the Challenge USA that's kind of messing with people's strategy is this algorithm wall that TJ exposes at the end of the premiere, at the end of the elimination round. What were your thoughts on that algorithm wall, and how did that mess with your personal strategy for the game?
Oh, that godforsaken algorithm. I mean, I really wanted it to get a virus and die, but I think I appreciated it for what it was. I mean, there's definitely a benefit of the algorithm being there, but there's also a huge disadvantage for the algorithm being there. The benefit being that it shook up the house socially, where these pre-existing relationships coming into it, you couldn't really rely on those anymore. I mean, there were 6 people from one season of Big Brother and Amazing Race. There's 3 of us, but none of us were from the same season. So it broke up the social dynamics, which I appreciated. But then the other side of it, because there's only 3 amazing racers, no matter who we're partnered with, if we're partnered with someone who's from a show that's not in power for that particular round, we're always going to be an option because there's no consequence going after Amazing Race because we just don't have the numbers to back us to seek vengeance. So I love hate for the algorithm, but I think as a viewer, like if I remove myself from the experience as a viewer, I think it's exciting because it adds a whole new dimension to the overall gameplay on the show that you keep seeing in the episodes.
Yeah, I think it definitely, as a viewer and as a fan of the challenge for so long, like I was telling you earlier, I think it definitely puts a damper in people's strategy, and I think it makes the game harder. So I think it's definitely a really cool twist that they brought in. Okay, so partners. So you got to work with Shanna from Love Island, Kayla from Amazing Race, and then of course your final partner was Tasha from Survivor. Now, of all the other ladies on the cast, who's someone that you wish you could have gotten to partner with that you didn't get the chance to?
I really would have loved to have partnered with Shan from Survivor. We forged a really strong friendship in the compound. I think we both think very similarly when it comes to the strategy of gameplay. And I just think we would have complemented each other really well in that. But then I also would have loved the opportunity to be partners with Desi. I think Desi from Survivor is a huge force to be reckoned with. Even though she hasn't won a daily yet, she's a very, very strong competitor. So I would have loved to have been partnered with Desi too.
Yeah, definitely 2 strong Survivor female players. So
exactly. And I was working closely with Survivor, so I feel like it would have just benefited me socially, but also just as a partnership, it would have been really good.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm curious. So let's say CBS decides to do another season of the Challenge USA. Would you be interested in returning, or even if the flagship challenge gave you a call, would you go on? I have to know.
I'm a little bit more hesitant to say yes to the flagship show just because I think there's this level of, I don't know how to phrase it. Like there's always a very predictable gameplay, and that's always
Mm,
rookies versus veterans. And I feel like
hmm.
going into the flagship show, I would be considered more of a rookie. And I think
Hmm.
that already sets you up as a disadvantage if there's a larger veteran numbers, right? So
Yes, yes.
I'm a little bit hesitant. It would have to determine the theme before I would say yes.
Okay.
But for the Challenge USA, it would be a heck yes from me. Time and time
Yeah.
again, I love the CBS shows so much. I think it would be fun to come back and then see new faces in the mix from other recent seasons that are maybe even some OG seasons of these shows of people we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
I think there's so much room to play with the Challenge
Hmm.
USA that excites me, not only as a competitor, but a fan of these shows. So I really do hope that the Challenge USA is here to stay, because I would love the opportunity to come back and really show what I have to offer as a competitor, just because I don't really feel like you got to see that, unfortunately, with my time on the show.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And I will say, I think a lot of viewers would agree with me that we hope to see a return to
Oh,
TV.
thanks,
So,
Blake.
all right, final question, James. Tell people where they can find you online and continue to support you in your journey.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Where's Wallington. Then I love to live tweet all these shows that we're talking about. So on Twitter, I'm at James Wallington. And then my husband Will and I, as you know, from Amazing Race, we love to travel. And so we have our website, itswillandjames.com, and at It's Will and James on Instagram. And we have some really fun trips coming up where we'll be able to share our travel experiences on social media. So hope you check it out.
Okay, awesome. Well, James, thanks so much for joining me again. And for all of our viewers, you can, of course, watch the Challenge USA on CBS on Wednesday nights. Thanks, James.
Thanks, Blake.